Yo, what's up guys? We just got an insane update with lots of sweet new units, so it's time for us to update the tier list. Now before we do, make sure you guys smash the subscribe button. My new co-unit Toru is dropping very soon, and yeah, hopefully we'll make it meta. All right, do you want it to be meta for infinite arrays? Let me know down below. Let's hop right into the tier list. All right, so a lot of units, you know, got adjusted, etc. So we're gonna have to redo the list, so let's get it started. And don't worry guys, we'll be ranking all the new ones as well. So first up guys, we have the S tier. So we'll add one more tier as well guys. We'll call it S tier for raid. All right, go. And then we'll have S tier for infinite mode. All right, so I know there's a kind of different things, you guys kind of, you know, a little bit confused sometimes, so we'll do S for that, and then we'll have one more above, and we won't have any more above. All right, let's go guys. So first starting off guys, we have Blackbeard. Now Blackbeard, he's no longer meta for infinite mode because of the new 7-star Katakuri. So I definitely don't recommend it for that, and I recommend you just go with Katakuri instead. So the 7-star Katakuri is definitely the best slow unit. Now you could go with the other Katakuris as well. They're not terrible. All right, 5-star Katakuri is definitely B tier in my opinion, and then 6-star Katakuri isn't the worst thing in the world, but definitely slightly worse than Blackbeard. All right, as far as the other slow units go, we'll do that whenever. Ichigo is decent enough guys. You need him for any infinite mode that has air units. All right, next up we have Kaido. He's only a tradable unit, not very good guys. All right, we'll add another tier in here as well. Add row below. We need a D tier. All right, D tier. Go. And there we go. Perfection. All right. Next up, we got Rengoku. Now, Rengoku is mid, guys. He's a decent burn unit, but he's no longer the best burn unit because he doesn't even hit airs. The new best burn unit, guys, is Nezuko. Oh, my goodness gracious, guys. She is busted OP. All right. She is doing over 12 million damage, guys, on her max upgrade, and she's also very good for story mode as well. All right. So she's doing an insane amount of damage, guys. Honestly, definitely one of the best units ever. If you guys are doing solo leaderboards or anything, she's definitely a good way to go. Next up, we have Golden Frieza. I'm going to give Golden Frieza A tier. I don't think he's meta for raids, but he's very, very good for raids and very, very good for new players. Kirito, guys, is definitely a mid unit. I don't recommend him. He needs another buff. Jotaro is very, very good for raids. I'm going to give him S tier for raids. All right, he's very useful. Minato, guys, honestly, Minato is a very, very mid 6-star. The reason being is he just starts off so bad. Look at, bro, are you freaking kidding me, bro? 621 damage with a dang orb. Like, come on, bro. Luffy, he's half decent, but the reason we're gonna have to drop, actually, no, we probably should drop him in C tier. The reason we have to drop him in B tier is his price. He's way, way, way too expensive for his damage. Giorno 6-star is very good. I'm gonna give him A tier now because we now have Julius, which is basically the same thing as him but even better. And Julius, guys, I believe is meta for infinite mode and raids. All right, definitely a highly, highly recommended unit. Goku, guys, is unfortunately fairly mid. I'm gonna give him C tier for infinite mode. The path, very, very good for raids, guys. He is meta for the Hell raid. All right, next up we have Whitebeard, guys. Whitebeard is pretty mid. Rukia, pretty mid. Don't really recommend using her. All right, but you could. Gilgamesh is decent for damage farm with his high damage. Kakashi, guys, don't recommend him, but he does have high damage. Guts, guys, is just trash. All right, Naruto GRR, pretty bad. Naruto, I'm gonna give him B tier. I don't recommend using him, but you know, you can get pretty far in infinite mode with him. Goten's not very good. Sukuna, guys, he's meta for raids as well as infinite mode, so we're gonna have to put him up there. All right, Raigen is a pass. Ryuk, I don't ever really recommend using Ryuk anymore, so I'm gonna drop Ryuk in like D tier along with Light Yagami. I don't think there's any point you should ever even bother getting them. They're not good for any game modes anymore, so just pass on these guys. They're not really worth your time. Itachi, they made him good for raids, but he's not quite meta for raids. I'm gonna give him A tier for raids. Sasuke, decent enough. Gojo, meta for infinite mode, guys. The longest time stopper unit in the game. Trash unit. Trash, 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 trash. I'm gonna give Big Mom D tier. The only reason being is she does actually buff money units, so that's actually pretty nice, guys. 15% bonus on money, and I do believe that also might stack with the new Fisherman unit. So speaking of the new Fisherman unit, he's actually pretty cracked. Basically, he's an RNG based unit. But I'm gonna give him S tier, guys, because you know, if you get super lucky, he's good to go. But if you get unlucky, hard pass. So if you guys want to rely on RNG to get on the leaderboards, you gotta use my boy. He can give you over like close to 2 million, factoring in all bonuses, etc. It's very, very close to 2 million, maybe like 1.8. It's just so close. All right, next up we have Rem is a pass. Dio is a good unit, guys, A tier. But the reason we have to drop him to A and no longer S tier is because we have Diavola, who is literally just Dio but better. So infinite mode, definitely meta there. All right, Frankie is bad. Devil Man, he's not that good. All right, Lightning Bolt is pretty mid, got pretty trash. Luffy, again, he's not terrible, but he doesn't have an element. Trash. Now Fumi, again, don't recommend him. Shirtless Devil, I don't feel like Freeze is kind of fallen out of favor compared to Time Stop, so I don't really recommend using him anymore. The boys, again, he's kind of mid. He just range is just so small. Ulakora pass, Yamamoto bad, Box bad. Aokiji, again, the Freeze has kind of fallen out of favor, so I can't really recommend him. All right, pretty bad, pretty bad. Madara did get nerfed. I would use like any other unit besides Madara, because Madara got nerfed harder than even Naruto. Rengoku Challenger is the same as normal Rengoku. Speedwagon is still meta, guys, for every single game mode. No surprise that hasn't changed. Elite Warrior, he's good enough for C tier. You can try to use him, but there's so many good fire units, I can't really recommend getting him. Levi, again, guys, can't recommend him. Enel is just a slightly worse version of him, so I don't really ever recommend using Enel. Just use Golden Frieza instead. Death the Kid is decent, but mid. Sound of Sonic, man, I can't really recommend him anymore. He's just not the greatest bleed unit in the game. Plantman mid. You guys, I'm gonna have to give you mid, bro. There's literally freaking 3 stars that are better than him. So instead of you guys, just for the love of all things good, just use my boy Water Temple Guard Air. Like, come on, man. He just, look at this, 1.8 for 4 versus at level 26 versus this. Like, come on. And the thing is, he keeps his SPA. So like, he's just don't use him. And plus he costs so much to place. You just got to go with the Water Temple Guard, because if you take a look at the Water Temple Guard, he costs so little to place. All right, he's costing you 500 bucks to place, so you can actually place him on the first wave, which is big. Shinji, no wait, frick, yeah, this is Shinji, I think, mid. Aaron, guys, they did him dirty, man. They need to give him a massive damage buff for it to be worth it. Akasa does buff money, so she is pretty useful. So B tier, and she's in the highest range in the game as well, so not bad. Boros, B tier, decent unit. Anti-hero, a lot of people like to use him, so I'll give him some credit. All right, I don't recommend using this guy. I'm gonna give him like B tier. She's okay, but needs a buff. Kaiba needs a buff. Hit 6-star is actually decent, but because of his element, I don't really recommend him for raids. All right, this guy's decent, but don't recommend it. Amelia, again, I don't really recommend her. She's all right for like Sinjin raid, but don't recommend her. Brook, he is the best, one of the best buff units in the game. However, I definitely recommend going with Metallic King instead for raids. So Metallic King meta for raids, Brook is the best unit for Infinite. All right, that's only if you're using his glitch though. They still haven't patched his glitch yet, guys. All right, so make sure you guys watch my video. All right, this one right here. All right, glitch buff unit. All right, and remember to put him in your first slot, guys. All right, if he's not in the leader slot right here, it's not going to work. So a lot of people are saying it's patched. No, it's because you have him in the wrong slot. All right, next up, guys, we have him. He never got nerfed, so he's actually low-key decent. Mihawk did get nerfed, so B tier. Mid. Again, guys, freeze units kind of fell out of favor. Kirisugu used to be meta, but no longer good. Megumin is all right. I tried her out. She's good enough for B tier. She's just not good anymore. This guy really fell out of favor. I'll give him C tier. You can kind of go far in infinite mode with him, but they nerfed him so hard. Oob, decent. 5-star Oob, mid. Obito, he's still good, but he's no longer the best because of Yami. All right, guys, the Pharaoh, man, Yugi is still like the highest damage unit. He's meta for infinite mode as well as damage farming, so highly recommend you pop off with that guy. Zero has a cool ability, but nobody uses him. Underwater God is kind of mid. Same with this guy. People just use Funny Valentine, so I guess you could use him. I'll give him like C tier. The Hanmas, man, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Roy Mustang, unfortunately, no longer worth it because we have Nezuko. Geto Suguru, I tried him out. He's okay, but he kind of got nerfed. Yuta, he's all right, but they got nerfed pretty hard. Zamasu, he cuts enemies HP in half, but he's kind of pricey, so only good for infinite. This guy busts money units, but he's still kind of mid, so C tier. Big Mom, you can technically use her for infinite, so like I'll put her in A tier, but I think you might as well just go with Julius instead. He's an okay bleed if you're a new player, but only then. Deku, kind of mid. All right, maybe slightly better than his god version. Alucard, don't really recommend him. Kilowatt, nobody uses him anymore, so maybe B tier, but maybe somebody will find a use for his OP ability. But as of right now, not really. Gon, mid. Don't really recommend Gon. Dragon Daughter, trash. Goldie Roger isn't the greatest thing in the world, but he's good enough for B tier in my opinion. Definitely better than a lot of these units. Actually, yeah, he's definitely like maybe A tier. Actually, I'll give him A tier. I'll give him some credit. Whitebeard, he's okay. Jizu, kind of underrated. Announcer, trash. This guy, I don't recommend anymore. Doflamingo, same thing. Not really recommended. Escanor, I tried him out. He's okay. Good enough for B tier. Trash. This guy has a cool ability, but nobody really uses it for any leaderboard strategy that I know of, so A tier. I tried out this guy. I believe this is the 6-star version. Yeah, I tried him out. He's actually low-key good for raids, so I'll give him meta for raids. She's good for raids too. Broly, I'd say he's still good for infinite mode, close to meta. This Broly though, mid. Cooler, mid. And don't really recommend these guys either. Trash. Zoro, guys, honestly, they need to give him a massive buff. He's like worse than Goldie Roger in my opinion. He's all right for infinite mode, but go with Goldie Roger instead any day. This Zoro, mid. Metal Cooler, guys, meta for raids, not for infinite. Monkey King, he's good for raids, A tier. Raku, A tier for raids. Blue Vegeta, he's actually good for raids too, so I'm gonna give him really good rankings there. This guy, he's kind of mid. I'm gonna give him B tier. He does 500 million damage, which is a lot, so he's okay for damage farming, but he's way too pricey. He's like more expensive than Yugi for some reason. Zeus is kind of mid. This 7-star Cell, I mean B tier, really bad. Right, this guy sucks. 0-2, they nerfed her badly. Don't like freeze units anymore. Wamu, mid. A lot of these units guys are just mid right here, so we'll drop this guy again. He used to be good, but now like I don't know, man. He's still good enough for like maybe B tier for my opinion for the buff units. I mean for the slow units. I tried this guy out for raids. He's actually pretty good, so I'll give him A tier for raids. Pretty bad mid. Gohan is still meta though, I think, or pretty close to, so I'll give him infinite S tier. This Gohan isn't the worst thing in the world, but there's better. This Goku does decent damage, good enough for B tier. Not really that good unit right here. Magma Admiral, he's no longer the best burn unit in the game, so I'm gonna have to give him like B tier. This version, same thing. One lower. This guy just trash. Soul Snatcher, I don't like her, man. I'll give her B tier, C tier, because you could maybe use her, but I don't like her. Ace is no longer that great, but Ace is still good enough for a lot of raids, so I'll give it Ace A for raids. This guy is really useful. He's like a better version of Uryu. I don't really recommend these versions of Vegeta. This version is okay for raids. Rimuru is very good. I'm gonna give Rimuru S tier because of her ability is so OP. Kurama is good enough for A tier in my opinion. This Sasuke, he's really good for infinite modes with air units. Naruto is kind of mid, but he's good for raids though, so I'll give him S tier for raids. Yeah, he's actually kind of useful for raids, certain raids. Don't recommend him. Yami is the highest damaging unit of the Black Flames unit, so definitely recommended. Cars is kind of mid. Navy is really good for raids. I'll put him in A tier for raids, not quite meta. Oh, this guy's good for raids, A tier. He's kind of mid. You can kind of use him though. Eraserhead, I don't like Eraserhead. I'm gonna give him solid B tier. Don't use him. If you want a good unit for raids, guys, use this guy right here, Android. Oh my gosh, he is cracked out for raids. He's honestly right up there with Metal Cooler in my opinion. Ichigo, meta for infinite mode, very, very good. This Android is mid. Last Master is unreleased yet, so I'm gonna leave him down here. Lee Chun, oh my gosh, do not use him. Cumber is actually low-key pretty good. Good enough for A tier in my opinion for infinite. Whodron the Mystic is underrated for infinite. I'm gonna give him like high A tier for infinite mode. You can kind of use this money unit. I'm gonna give him A tier. I don't like this. I don't like the herp specifically. Like these guys are alright for like, they're good for like the new story mode, but they're not that great overall. This guy is underrated though. I'm gonna give him like B tier. He's all right. Princess Apollo, easily A tier, very good. Definitely not the craziest 7-star, but you can use her ability for good effect in raid mode. So not bad at all. Octo, S tier, guys. If you need an extra money unit, use Octo. Trash. He's just as good as Sound of Sonic. I think I put Sound of Sonic in C tier, so yeah. Cringe. Oh my gosh, you guys already know. Trash ish, but you can kind of use her for raids. Denji never got a buff yet, so I'm gonna give Denji S tier for raids. Really good combination with Nezuko. So Denji's good for raids. Honestly, probably good for infinite too. So I'll give her this combo right here S tier. This guy's kind of mid. Shenron, it does good damage, so B tier. Judar, decent damage, but the freeze kills it, man. So they'll never be meta. That's the problem. Any unit that has freeze will never be meta. No, your guys, decent unit, but not the greatest. Kiguri, trash. Honestly, guys, the new Krillin is really, really good for air modes. I'll put him in A tier. Astolfo is also underrated as well. I'll give her A tier, really high damage. Android, she's all right. She's okay for raids. I'll give her B tier. Pedora, her final attack is like freaking single target, so maybe like D tier. I don't understand why they made her final attack single target. Hopefully it's just bugged. This guy, we tested him out. He's actually pretty good. I'll give him like high B tier. Last master unreleased. So there you go, guys. There's the tier list, and remember, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get my new co-unit soon, and comment down below, guys, any suggestions you have to update my tier list and make it even better.